Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Faculty Lounge. I am glad, I hope you guys all had a great summer, and I'm sure are back at work doing great things in your district. So this is our first Faculty Lounge of the year. Just a couple things as we get started here. We got a new schedule out with some new ideas this year. We've got some great presentations planned for you. One thing about this year, we're trying to make more of an effort to have outside presenters come to the Faculty Lounge and share with us and with the rest of the teachers the things they've been doing. So if you or another teacher that you know of would like to present in the Faculty Lounge, if you can have, you can just email me at tim@uen.org. And we would love to hear from you. So, okay, well, I'll fix that. Thanks, Justin. So we'd love to hear from more teachers around the state that are doing some great things. So with that, let's talk a little bit about today's presentation. A few things about participating in a webinar. We'd love to hear from you, hear your questions, hear your comments. Today we're going to be playing we're going to be doing a little activity, so hopefully you'll participate in that. It makes it a lot more fun and a lot more interesting if you sort of join in and try to be engaged, and we like that as well. A couple quick things about this Connect tool. If you're having trouble with the audio, you can go up under the meeting drop-down menu. You can see I've got an arrow to it there, and you can run an audio wizard. And check your sound, and that's especially important if you are using, if you're presenting in Connect and you're trying to troubleshoot your microphone. Also, there is a little status tool, and you can see it. It's kind of up in the middle. It looks like a little white guy raising one hand, and I could ask you if you agree with something or disagree, or if you're having a problem, or you have a question, you can use that little drop-down menu to sort of give us an idea of your status. Also, there is a chat room, and that's where most of the conversation happens. So you can see it there over on the left-hand side. So if you've got a comment or a question, we would love to hear from you. Also, we're making a push to make better use of our social media. So we would love if you followed us on Twitter, Facebook, and all these other things. But we're sending out lots of information nowadays via Twitter and via Facebook. So if you go to our professional development page, there you can sign up to follow us. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with what we're going to talk about today. So over the course of the summer, we here in our department are lucky enough to get to travel around the state quite a bit and see teachers all over and see some great things that they're doing. It's one of my favorite parts of this job is hearing from teachers who are in the classroom and hearing some of the tools that they're using and how they're using these tools and how it is affecting the students. And one of them that I heard about this summer quite a bit is what we're going to talk about today. It's this tool called Kahoot, and it's sort of a funny name, but it kind of sticks with you. It's not hard to remember because of that. Now let me share my screen, and we're going to kind of jump into this. So give me just a second here to share my screen. Okay, so let's use that status tool up at the top. So if you can see my screen, go ahead and use that little drop-down menu at the top to say that you agree that my screen is showing. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Okay, good. So that's enough feedback for me to know that it's working. Okay, so you can see the address there. Now, the Kahoot is a web-based tool for creating quizzes, and you could do it for surveys as well, but it's game-based. So it's a game-based quiz tool, and it's kind of fun, and there is a competitive side to it, and you'll see that here in a minute. And that's the part that, as I talked to, especially the one teacher when I was down in St. George who really turned me on to this, she used it in her class, she said, almost every day to review. And often the kids would want to play it during recess. And I thought that was sort of remarkable that they wanted to stay in from recess and take quizzes. So there must have been something to it. And then even she said often on Monday mornings, kids would come in and say, oh, I studied all weekend and I want to play Kahoot right now, you know, to see if they could do better, so they could improve their score or get higher up on the leaderboard. Which when you hear stuff like that, you kind of take note. All right, so I want you guys, we're just going to go ahead and do one right now. So I'm going to sign in. So Kahoot's free. So the way you get a Kahoot account, you go to that URL that you can see on the screen right now. You go to getkahoot.com. So you can see that's where you can create a free account down here. And if you already have an account, you can go ahead and sign in. So let me get signed in quick here, and we'll go through the process of using Kahoot if you were a teacher. So, okay. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, if you can, change your browser window a little bit, or your computer screen a little bit. So you've got a tab in your browser open up to Connect, so you can see what we're doing. If you could open up another, not another tab, because we want to see both at the same time, open up another browser window, and then I want you to go to this URL that is just kahoot.it. So this is what the student would do. And I'll put it in the chat room there so you can see that URL. So, and if you can arrange your browser, your computer screen, so you've got this Kahoot.it window open, and you have a tab with the Connect rooms where you're seeing my screen. So you can see the teacher view, and you can see the student view. So I'll give you a sec to set that up. Now, the ways that this is, the places where this tool can be used are places where the students are have access to a web browser. So a teacher could take their students to Computer Lab and have the students get on and go to kahoot.it. In schools where there is some one-to-one, whether it's a laptop cart, a set of iPads, netbooks, or even in a school with a bring your own device policy going, any device that can connect to the internet or that has a web browser will allow the student to participate. All they need to do is be able to get to kahoot.it. Okay, so that's the student view. Now, I've got a quiz that I want to do with you, and you can see you're at a screen that's just waiting for a game pin. So I'm going to go back here to the teacher view and go into my account. Okay. And you can see I've got a couple of Kahoots. So each one of these they call a Kahoot, but just think of it as a quiz. Okay, so I've got a few Kahoots that I've already created or that I've copied from somewhere else or that I favorited. And I'm going to go to this iPad quiz here. This is one I've been using a little bit with teachers. And when I click on play as the teacher, it is ready for me. So this is what the teacher sees. And if I'm going to do this with my students, I would be projecting this, okay? Because this little quiz-based tool works different than some of the others that we've seen, works different than some of the other student response systems, is that the questions and the answers are going to be shown up on the projector, and then the students answer the question on their individual device or on the computer they happen to be sitting at. Okay, so it requires a teacher's computer connected to a projector that all the students can see. All right, so now ready to play this. So I'm going to launch. So you can see it gives some nice instructions for the students here. And now it gives the pin. Okay, so this is the game pin that I want you to put in. just like we were in a class together and you were students and I was the instructor. Okay, and put in that PIN that you're seeing on the screen there and enter, and then it wants you to put a nickname or a name in. So put a name in. Now this is where if you're in a classroom and with students, you have to decide what how you're going to want them to put in names, whether it's a nickname, whether it's a student number, because the players don't see everybody's score, but the top 5 players are visible. Okay, it creates a leaderboard, but it's only the top 5. So someone who's not doing very well would not show up. But you need to sort of decide how you want that to work. Okay, so let's just wait a second for the rest of the folks to get in. Okay, a couple more here, and you can see as students are coming in, you get to see their name, and whether they made a nickname up or not, we get to see those showing up here down on the screen. Okay, so if a student had put an inappropriate name, you can see I can just roll my mouse over that student and I can kick him out of class or kick him out of this game. Okay, so with that much done, we're ready to start the questions. Now, the first time you play this, it's a little different, because when I do start now and the first question comes up, you need to look at my screen, okay, to see the question, and then it's multiple choice, and the multiple choice answers will come up on the screen, on my screen, or if you were in a classroom, on the out the projector, and on your screen, you only get the 4 choices. Okay, so you have to kind of look both places, which is kind of what makes it a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the first question. Okay, it's just loading up. It's going to do a little countdown, and you're going to see the question and get a couple seconds. Okay, so there's the first question, and I've ended it. I just clicked next. I could have waited till the timer was up, but it looked like we had all the students responding. You could see that I was getting, I could see that 11 had responded, and then I thought that was enough. Now you can see there's the correct answer on your screen. It let you know if you were if you got it correct or not. It also shows you how many points you got and which position you're in, okay, in the leaderboard, okay, but only you get to see that. So you get points, of course, for getting the right answer, but also how fast you get it. So it's a speed thing. So there's our leaderboard. Okay, so let's answer a couple more. Okay, so let's go on to and see if the leaderboard changed. Okay, so Techie, whoever that is still leading, and we've got a pretty close race here. So you can see I get the top 5 shows up. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so we might have a new leader. Let's see, because not everybody got that one right. Let's go to the next. Now, as the teacher, you can see that I control how fast the questions go. So if I had set up, if I wanted to have a little discussion or maybe even a little remediation in between each question, it's very, very easy to do because the teacher's controlling everything. Okay. All right, yeah, look at that. We have a new leader. Michelle is leading, but it's a pretty tight race. All right, let's do one more and see if we can get a winner. There's 10 questions here, but we're not going to go through all of them. One more. Okay, so everybody knew that one, it seemed like, because you guys answered that question super fast, and it looks like Michelle is still in the lead. So let's suppose that we okay, so Teresa asked a question, does the program allow for more than one correct answer? Yes, when you set it up, we're gonna go look in just a second here on how to make a quiz. And when you set it up, you could even have all of them be the right answer, or none of the above, or all of the above, or I get to choose, but it's multiple choice based. Okay, so let's say we'd gone through the whole quiz. I'm going to end the quiz now, and we get a nice little winner there. So you can see there's a link at the bottom that says feedback and results. So I'm going to click on that. So you guys get one more question, so I can take a quick little survey of the students. Okay, so look at where your questions where you should now have, and I can get some ratings. A couple of different, yeah, be nice. Okay, so you can take a quick little survey sort of how students felt about it and what they learned, kind of a little exit survey. And then here's the part that's really interesting. I'm going to go to the final results, okay, and I get to see the leaderboard. But right in the middle there, you'll see a little button that says download results, and I'm just going to open that up quick because what it does is it creates a spreadsheet, and let me just move this over so you can see it. It creates a spreadsheet with all the names of the students, you know, how many correct answers, how many incorrect, their score, and probably what's more important is their actual answer to each one of the questions. And it's colored, which makes it really easy to see where there may have been some problems. Okay, so and even where there may have been mistaken. So you can see that question 2 was probably the question that wasn't too good. Or was less known. Maybe I had a problem with the question, or I hadn't, the students hadn't learned that part very well. I could also look across at each individual student and have a good idea of maybe one student or another needed some remediation. So I get a really nice feedback, and I can just download it. It's an Excel spreadsheet. So, okay, so that is what it's like to be a student. So let me just open this up and a little bigger here so we can see if you wanted to, when you want to create your own. All right, so let's start from scratch and say I just want to create one all my own. And right in the upper right hand corner it says new, a new K or a new Kahoot. So it comes up and it says what kind do you want. Okay, so the discussion in the survey, again, you just don't mark the right answer, but you have the same, and it's not timed. So you get different kind of data, but it's still multiple choice. So discussion doesn't mean put in a paragraph. It's still multiple choice, same with survey. But let's just do a quiz. Okay, so I start a quiz, and this is just maybe my quiz about dogs, because I can't think of anything else. Okay, so it comes up ready to make a question, and I'm just going to do what kind of dog? Okay, that's pretty harmless, right? So if I could spell right. All right, so I could bring in, you can see right here, I could ask a question and put the answers down along the bottom here. So let's say maybe it's a poodle. I'm going to bring in a photo. Okay, so you don't have to bring in a photo, but it lets you bring in a photo. So lab, let's say, okay, and how about a beagle? Okay, so those are going to be my 4 choices, but I need to bring in something for the students to look at. So I'm going to just go here and choose a photo. Now I already maybe have a photo. Okay, so let's use this photo. Okay, so now that's going to be my first question. Teresa asked, well, can you have more than one correct answer? And in this case, you wouldn't want one, but you can see right along the bottom here, I get to mark which one is correct. So if it was more, maybe this was a Labradoodle, and I needed 2 correct answers, so I could mark either one. So it's that easy to create a question. I'm going to come up here and say this is going to be fast, so I only want to give 10 seconds for this question. And I'm going to save and continue. Okay, so let me just go back here, back to edit this question. So I put in one question, and if I'm going to make a bunch, you can see this add question right here at the bottom, which just gives me a brand new screen. Maybe I have another. I'm going to have another picture of a dog. Okay, so I could bring in it the same way, or you can see there's another tab here that says Video Experimental. So if you have, if you found a video on YouTube, you can copy and paste the link into there, and then you can even set where you want the YouTube video to start and stop. So if you had a little video clip that you were going to play, and then you wanted to answer a question based on that, you could set that up as well. In this case, I don't have a video, so I'm just going to put another picture of a dog in, because that's what we have. Okay, so there's a little picture of a dog. I heard somebody gasp. Sorry, it looks like it's being friendly. It doesn't look like it's hurting the cat. And how about, okay, so with that much, you can see it's quite easy to create these questions. I'm going to save and continue. Save, oops, I got to mark one that's correct. Okay, so pretty much that quiz is finished. I'm going to save and continue, and I do have to mark it where I'm going to use this, and I get a set if it's public or private. If you make it public, it goes into this big library you can see in the upper left-hand corner. So it's a quick, easy way to share it. It puts it into a giant catalog for other people to be able to use, or even make a duplicate of and edit it. Okay, and with that, I could even put it wants me to put a cover image on it, but I'll skip that. Okay, and now that is ready for me to play. One feature that's kind of nice is this little preview button. So if I press preview, it opens up and lets me run through the questions while I get a nice little preview of what it's going to look like to participants over here on the right-hand side. So that's a nice way to sort of check to see how it's going to look, or see if it's going to work okay with the participants. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay, now, of course, we don't always want to create everything from scratch. Often we can find things that other teachers have created and are sharing, and it'd be really nice to make use of that. So you can see across the top here, there's a public, and this is a giant catalog. You can see 320,000 other quizzes / Kahoots that you could go, and if you find one that you like, so let's say, oh, the scientific method, that might be something that I'm interested in, so I can click on it. I can see the questions that this teacher's created and see the answers, okay, and which one has been marked right. Okay, now, 2 things I can do here. I can favorite it, so if I favorite this, it ends up in my account. Oh, see, that one's already on my favorite list, so it ends up in my account under my favorites. Okay, and you might want to do it that way, because if you if this teacher, S. Anderson 204, if that teacher goes and makes changes or updates or adds more questions, you get to see them. This is kind of like a bookmark to the Kahoot that this teacher's created. Let's say, though, you want to use 8 of his questions and you want to add 5 of your own, then you can see right out here is a little button that says duplicate, and I duplicate that now. Okay, and you can see it ends up in my account, and it says draft on it because it's not published yet. But now it's in my account. I can go here to this continue editing button. I can add my own questions, I can take out questions, do whatever I want. It's my copy, but I won't be updated if the original creator makes any changes. I don't get those updates. Okay, so a really nice way to find stuff and get a quick start on using Kahoot without having to start from scratch. Okay, so that's a quick overview of Kahoot, and I can see a question here from Keith. Yes, all free, and I haven't seen how they're trying to make money out of this yet, but all of it's free so far. It still says beta in the upper right-hand corner. It's been around, gosh, for seems like I heard about it about a year ago, but this summer I heard about it a lot from teachers. Now, just a reminder, it's a real-time quiz thing. I can't create a quiz and then have assigned it to students to go home and do it. It's sort of, it happens, it's a very synchronous thing to do. But, you know, kind of a fun thing to do at the end of school or when you have 5 minutes left. But it does require students to have access to a web browser. Okay, so if you take them to the computer lab again, you have a classroom set of devices, or if you're in a one-to-one situation, or bring your own. Okay. Also, the teacher's computer, the quiz itself, or the Kahoot itself, has to be projected because that's where the questions show up, and that's where the answers show up. The only thing that shows up on the student device are those choices that are colors and shapes. So. Yes, I think, Debbie, that's a good question. I kind of think that 4 is the highest number. You can have less than 4. And I think that somebody might check on that quick because I'm not sure. But I think there's a limit just because, you know, on the interface, there might not be room when the student goes to answer for too many multiple choices. So I'm sure somebody can figure that out, find that out quicker than me. One nice thing that if you're interested in Kahoot, they have created a really nice, I'm gonna, oh, that's not gonna work. A really nice manual, and I'm just gonna post the link to it so you don't have to go find it at Kahoot. But this little manual, and I'll post it here in the chat room. It's a PDF. If you go to that link, you can download that PDF, and there it is. And it's a really nice, quick, easy, get started little manual for Kahoot. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up for today? Okay, so 2 to 4. Okay, thanks, Scott. Just back to the schedule, so you can just see. I know that September 25th, that one has been changed. But next week, Mindy Hinsey, our Canvas guru, is going to talk to us about some of the new things that are in Canvas for your school year, and she's got some great, helpful new tools to share. So hopefully you will join us next week. All right, looks like we got some good information coming in here from Scott. Okay, good. So Teresa, it's kind of different than Socrative, because Socrative, the questions and the answers show up on the student device, whatever they're looking at. At least if you make a quiz, a multiple question quiz. Socrative might be a little more flexible because I can do just instant questions I can send out to student devices without pre-writing them or making them up. And Kahoot doesn't quite do that as well. But I think it's sort of a similar tool. The teachers, especially the one teacher who used this quite a bit and was the first one to really tell me about it. She had used Socrative and she had used infused learning, and she found the fact that Kahoot, it had a little competition built into it. Yeah, and it's sort of, you can tell it's designed for students or younger students maybe even, but they were much more interested in Kahoot than a tool like Socrata or even infused learning. So at least it's nice we have a selection. We're not stuck with one. And anyway. All right, folks, we are out of time, and thanks for joining us today, and hopefully you've had a good start to this new school year, and we hope to see you next week. Take care.